Hi everybody, this is Rhiannon. We are doing this poolside and I am giving you the view, I guess, that my puppies see when they're sitting with me poolside. I'm going to apologize to you in advance for the kids that are possibly going to scream in this video because they are next door and it is impossibly hot in my house upstairs where I normally do my videos inside, and I can barely breathe up there, so I didn't want to do it up there. This week on Witches of the Moon, the topic is stones, and I really just wanted to share with you a few ways that I use my stones. I use my stones as offerings for my god and my goddess on their altar. I also keep stones that represent my god and my goddess with me at work, and they are sitting on my computer desk. On my actual working altar, I keep a amethyst stone because of spiritual work. I keep a rose quartz for love, because I like to have that. Most of the time, you know, when I'm working there, everything that I'm doing is coming from a place of love. So I have a rose quartz constantly on my altar, and I also have a clear quartz for protection on my altar. Any other stone that I may be using for a different type of spell or ritual gets placed on there during the ritual, and then whatever it is that I'm doing with it, I will do that with afterwards. I like to use stones to make satchels a lot of the time. That's what I really use my stones for. For instance, in my car, I have a protection satchel, and I have in a yellow, those little, you know what I'm talking about, the little bags that you get. I can't even think right now. It's been a really long week, and a really long day. Anyway, I have a yellow bag, and in that bag I have a carnelian stone, an amethyst, and a clear quartz. And I've had that in my car since I got the new car back in December. My 15-year-old baby decided to die. I also use my stones for my ritual baths. You know, for if I'm taking a cleansing bath before ritual, I have my certain herbs that I use, and I also, especially like for instance when I first did my very first ritual working with Thor, I used a carnelian stone inside of that bag along with herbs to represent him, and herbs for the working itself. You know, I use lavender a lot, so it was mostly a mixture of the stones with is it hyssop, and lavender in that bath. And I like to run the water through the bag with the stones in it. I also do healing bags or healing spells with stones. When my grandmother was so sick, right before she passed away, she had this horrible blood clot that was kind of right at the nape of her neck. And that was part of the reason they couldn't do surgery on the lung cancer, was because she had this blood clot there. And, you know, she'd gone to the doctor several times and said, you know, there's this knot here and I don't know what it is. And he just kind of passed it off. And eventually that blood clot caused a collapse of that artery. So when they did find the cancer, they couldn't operate on her because they said she would have bled out. Anyway, it also caused her arm to swell horribly. And they tried, I kid you not, probably from the day that she went into the hospital was when her arm started to swell, until, gosh, she was in the hospital 29 days, I think, 26 days. And I used a bloodstone, and I charmed it, and I put so much energy into that stone. And she had this wrap on her hand, and like I said, they have been trying for a month, guys, a month to get this down, and nothing worked. No amount of medicine, it just made it worse. And her arm was so large that I swear it looked like it would just split open at any point. So back then I wasn't really out of my broom closet, and I told my mom I had a good luck charm for her, and they had her arm wrapped in this cloth. And so one night when it was my turn to be with her, I slipped that bloodstone inside of that wrap, and a day and a half later, that swelling had gone down. She had a completely normal arm. The doctors couldn't figure out why. And I at that point, I was just in awe, because it was one of the first things I had really tried. I think I was 20. So it was one of the first things I'd really tried. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, I had no more doubts at that point what stones could do. And then, so I also like to decorate with them. I know that Michaels, some Michaels, not all, but they have those little bottles, but what like hello, about that tall. And they are full of the stones, and you can get them online too. It's really hard to find them for a good price online when you buy them individual, unless you get them maybe on eBay. But I get so nervous about buying my stones on eBay because you can't tell if they're real. But I like to put those on, you know, some little crafts that I do. Whether, you know, you glue them down and, you know, put them on your altar. And, you know, I have a plan to do a incense holder, and I'm going to decorate the incense holder with these little tiny stones, and the incense holders will be kind of unique for what it is that I want. So for instance, I'm going to make an incense holder. Wow, I'm going to make an incense holder, guys. I'm going to make an incense holder that, you know, I use specifically for love spells, and I would put rose quartz on that incense holder. Just little things like that. And, you know, stones are really powerful, and like I said, I keep them with me all the time. I have a travel altar in my purse, and I keep a lavender one in there. There's a huge lavender chunk on my divination table. You know, they're used for so many things. You can channel energy through you into a stone and cast it out. You know, Chinese fluorite is a really good stone for that. Especially if you've got a lot of negativity around you, it absorbs that negativity, and then you get rid of it. You know, my mother-in-law she has like this abundance of Chinese fluorite that she keeps, and if she knows she's got this really negative person that's supposed to come work with her that specific day, she'll put it on the desk, and then when it's over with, she'll take it and she'll bury it. It's thundering. I'm in the pool and it's thundering. Good, as long as there's no lightning. I don't want to be electrocuted while I'm doing this video. But, you know, there's all sorts of stuff that you can do. One of the really best books that I have found, I like pictures. There's this really thick purple book that has a lot of information, but if you're not familiar with stones, the lack of pictures won't help you at all. You know, it'll say amethyst, and you don't know if you've got an amethyst stone if you don't know it's purple and looks a certain way. So I like the Crystal Bible, and I think there's actually 2 of them now. Maybe 3, but I know there's 2. That's a really good book to get. Scott Cunningham had a gemstone book, and that was a really good book to get, especially if you're just starting out. I have stones that I identify more than not. I know one stone that I have a strange relationship with selenite. I love selenite. It depends on the piece. I have bought myself 2 pieces of selenite, and it did not feel as good in my hand as this one particular piece that was, I just couldn't spend the money on it. It was like $35, and each stone has an energy, and when I go to pick out my stones, I mean, I am really centered for that. You know, you pick them up and you see how it makes you feel, and when you're holding it. One thing that I was taught was you have a receptive hand and a projective hand, and when you're picking out your stone, you should use your receptive hand, which is the hand that you do not write with. And if you are casting out, like if you're putting energy into the stone to give to somebody, or you're putting negative energy that someone has left with you into it, you would put that stone in your writing hand to kind of imagine that energy flowing through your writing hand and into that stone. It's projecting into that stone. I hope that makes some sense. I feel like this video is all over the place. I had so much that I wanted to say, and I can't even concentrate enough to really say it. But stones are a really great tool in magic, no matter what you're doing, whether you're just meditating, whether you're actually casting, or just to have around you on a daily basis. Stones are amazing. And that was one of the first things I really started to learn. Stones and candles were exactly what I was drawn to on that side when it came to doing spells. And I think when you're pulled to something, you learn it relatively quick, because I had absolutely no issue learning the names of stones and what they were used for. And I picked it up really, really quick. And I absolutely love working with stones. I hope this helps somebody. I hope this helps you. I hope it wasn't all over the place as much as I seem to think it was. And, you know, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. Make sure to watch everybody else's videos, because I'm sure they're going to have some amazing information for you guys. And until next week, blessed be and have a great week.